Light warrior. A voice can be heard before the alarm goes off. It holds a list of everything that could go wrong today, before the light, before any nice thing has had a chance to reach you. It makes you think of what broke down yesterday. It assigns the worst potential consequences to conversations that have not yet occurred. You may have forgotten something important about this voice since you are so familiar with it and have lived with it for so long. Is not your voice. It was never the case. It is able to communicate in your language. It makes advantage of your recollections. It makes precise allusions to your particular situation so that it sounds like your own rational thought. However, it isn't. What do you own? When I created you with my own hands, I put something completely different inside of you. I want you to hear this next statement because of that. Nor as a far-off echo, nor as an all-encompassing truth penned for the masses, but as a phrase tailored for the unique contours of your life, uttered exactly into the spot where you are standing at this moment. I am nearer to you than your own breath. More than any physical experience your body can perceive, I am here right now. I know every layer of what you are carrying, every passageway in your inner existence where the burden has been building. And this is the first thing I want to convey to you before we go any farther. I didn't instill dread in you. Allow the words to transcend the surface and reach a genuine place. Put it in the category of things you already believe and take your time processing it. Allow it to go to the part of you that has been plagued by dread for a long time. The location that awakens prepared. A place where, before you've even oriented yourself to the day ahead, it quietly calculates what might go wrong. The spot that prevents itself from fully investing in positive things, since a part of you is constantly half prepared for the end of the positive things. The area where you look ahead and experience the familiar constriction that whispers, "You're not enough for this," that there is too much uncertainty here, that things are likely to go wrong. This word is directed at that location, that precise location. And I am stating unequivocally and clearly to that location that what has been residing there is not what I placed there. I didn't intend for you to be afraid. I didn't weave anxiety into your fabric. You did not have dread installed as one of your default operating settings. They were introduced, they had acquired knowledge, they were fed, and they developed, but they were never mine. They were never really yours as a result. I want you to know how you were created. It wasn't a casual act when I formed you. Roughly assembling the available parts would not result in a substantially functional product. It was the very deliberate design of someone who would represent me, embody my personality, and contribute to goals I had planned before the world even began. Every facet of your design was taken into account. Every aspect of your identity was selected. The texture of your unique gifts, the way your mind functions, the things that move you, and your ability to comprehend specific types of things that many around you do not. It was all intentional. It wasn't any coincidence. And I put something extraordinary in you as I breathed my own life into you and laid the groundwork for your existence. I gave you power. Not the hesitant, situation-specific kind of power that arises when things are going well and vanishes when things go tough. The kind of power that was at work when the planet was created. The kind of power that has enabled common people to achieve seemingly impossible feats throughout human history. You currently possess that same power, not a symbolic gesture toward it, nor a lesser imitation of it, but the actual living truth of the Spirit of the living God. Deep, stable, unconditional, boundless love that doesn't change according to your constancy, doesn't wane when you fail, and doesn't become frustrated when you take a long time to receive it, is what I place with power. And I implanted a sound mind with the love and the power. A mind that is made to be clear, perceptive, capable of reasoning under duress, and capable of perceiving reality as it truly is, as opposed to how fear distorts it. 3 remarkable deposits: strength, love, and a good mind. They're all not afraid. I never offered you fear. Darkness is always defeated by light. I want you to think of this as an actual ruling principle of reality in every location, at every time, and in every situation, rather than as a consoling phrase. Darkness is defeated by light. It is ingrained in the very foundation of creation. You don't have to fight the darkness. You don't have to argue with it, battle it, or plan a counterattack. All you have to do is be in the presence of light, and darkness will give way, because that is what it does when light is there. Darkness is not a powerful force in and of itself. It is the state that results from the absence of light. That state ends as soon as light appears. Darkness is powerless against light. It is unable to negotiate or reach a deal that would permit it to stay. Light just is, and as such, it displaces all that came before it. That's the law. And it's not only a physical law, it controls what transpires when my truth finds its way into a human being's terrified heart. Something non-cosmetic happens when the darkness of what fear has been asserting about your future, your value, and your potential is displaced by the light of what is truly true. The real form of your perception shifts. Because you are no longer functioning from fear's warped perception of reality, the actual quality of what you are able to do with your life alters. You are working with what is genuinely present. When viewed in the context of my presence, provision, and faithfulness, what is truly there is always more feasible, full of possibilities, and accompanied by what you need than fear's version ever was. I've been observing you bear the burden of fear. I want to be specific about how good that viewing was. It's not a far-off remark. It is not the disinterested vigilance of a person with no interest in the result. I watch everything I love with total focus, personal awareness of every detail, and an involvement that extends beyond the surface to the center of your experience. I am aware of the particular texture of the fear you are experiencing. When it speaks to you, I am aware of its timing, its specific vocabulary, the arguments it makes, and the memories it utilizes to support its position. I recognize the voice it speaks in, which is unsettlingly similar to your own, and I can see why it is hard to ignore. It is considerably more difficult to distinguish your own thoughts from fear that seems like your own sensible reasoning. I am aware of the quietest times of day. I am aware of the transitions, possibilities, and uncertainties that most consistently set it off. I am aware of its origins, the events that gave it its initial foothold, and the seasons that nourished it and enabled it to expand beyond its initial size. I am fully aware of it, and this is what I want you to comprehend. It's not because you're inherently flawed or weak that the dread increased. Because it received attention, the terror increased. You allowed a fear-shaped concept to take up residence in your mind each time you engaged with it, turned it over, studied it, ran the numbers, and attempted to determine whether it was true. Every time worry struck, you gave in because it felt more responsible to handle the worst-case scenario than to just put your trust in me. The anxiety that the door was open to it was trained. You had no malicious intent when you did this. The way you make thoughtful decisions, you did not pick fear. You didn't completely understand the alternative, so you did it. You already know, though. Fear is not a judgment, but a suggestion. It is a persistent, intelligent, and frequently highly persuasive proposal from an adversary who has no control over you outside of your continuing consent. And the reason I'm here today is to let you know that you can immediately revoke that agreement. You can no longer accept the predictions that fear makes about your future. Fear's predictions can no longer be trusted as accurate predictions of your future. You may cease granting fear the power it claims to have over your life because it was never yours to grant, and it was never fear's to claim. Now allow me to speak the truth to you. The way a room's light quality shifts as it reaches maximum brightness, revealing more and more details until nothing is left in shade. Since fear is a multifaceted phenomenon, I will discuss it in its various manifestations. It takes different forms in different lives, and I am fully aware of the forms it has taken in yours. The most fundamental lesson I want you to remember is that you are not alone in any aspect of your struggles. The loneliness that dread creates, the feeling of being burdened and exposed in a way that no one else has experienced. That is one of the most powerful weapons of fear. It functions by making you feel alone. It states that my general assistance cannot truly address your problem since it is too particular. It says you are the only one who can determine the difference between where you are and where you should be. However, the reality is completely different. In particular, I am constantly present. The close-knit, attentive presence of a father who is totally focused on this specific child at this specific moment, rather than an ethereal cosmic presence. I can see and actively participate in every layer of what you are going through at the moment. Nothing is too particular for me to be involved with. Nothing is too difficult for my wisdom to handle. Nothing is too far gone for my ability to make amends. Nothing is so damaged that my hands are unable to use it. Every aspect of this, including the challenging and unsure bits as well as the parts that are just the typical texture of days that feel heavy, is accompanied. Not by myself. Not for a split second. I already know the future you have been terrified of, and that completely alters your relationship with the fear of it. It's only true that you don't know the future. What's there is invisible to you. You can't predict how certain circumstances will turn out. You are unable to glimpse the people who are entering your life but have not yet arrived, or to preview decisions that have not yet been taken. There are actually a lot of invisible objects in the space between where you are and where you are going, and fear adds gloom to that real uncertainty. It asserts that catastrophe must be a part of the uncertain future. It states the worst is probably there because you cannot see what is there. It uses the darkest hues at its disposal to depict every uncertain future. But this is what completely changes the picture. I don't know anything about the future. I am already present in every day that has not yet come your way. I have previously stood at every fork in the road that lies ahead of you, and I am aware of the way ahead as well as the area ahead. I will not pretend that there won't be any difficulties, since I won't give you false consolation. I already have the tools I need to overcome every obstacle that lies ahead. I have already started every breakthrough that is headed your way. Your needs are already being planned for at every stage of the journey. The individual you will require for a specific season has already been identified and is being positioned. Somewhere, the concept that will open the next chapter is already taking shape. From your current perspective, the door that appears to be forever closed is already being worked on from the other side. You are not entering chaos when you bravely move forward. You're about to enter prepared territory. And declare that you will now choose faith over fear by typing Amen in the comments section below. Your comment lets individuals know they are not alone in their struggles during genuine dark moments. To ensure that you don't miss anything, subscribe to this channel and enable the notification bell if you would like to receive messages like this every single day. On this road, you are not alone. The light is triumphing as we move forward together.